So, in recent years, Maharashtra's recruitment landscape has seen significant reforms under Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis. Now, from tackling corruption and exam scams to streamlining digital recruitment processes, these changes aim to restore transparency and efficiency, offering renewed hope to job aspirants across the state. Now, today we are being joined by Mr. Banuchander Nagarajan, public policy expert. Welcome to the show, Mr. Bhanu. Okay, so Bhanu, Maharashtra has faced issues like recruitment scams and exam paper leaks for years now. And Fadnavis administration has been working on improving the transparency in the government job recruitment space, particularly through digitalization and legislative measures. Can you share how this has worked in the favor of the aspirants?
So, Rita, let's look at the big picture now. Let's think about what is the role of the government in the first place, because that would give us a framework for understanding what the Maharashtra government is doing. Assume we go to a public park for a picnic, a nice, beautiful, well-lit park where the grass is well trimmed, where there is where it's clean and the toilets are good and well lit and all that. You go and you enjoy the picnic with your friends and family, right? And when you come back, you remember the moments that you spent with your loved ones. But all the things that I spoke about, the lighting, the cleanliness, the security, etc. Those are the things that actually stay in the background, but actually makes this experience very memorable and cherishable, right? The role of the government is to do all those things in the background so that citizens can live a good life. That is the purpose of the government. So if you look at what the state government can do, it can do 3-4 things. One is provision of security, infrastructure, and skill building. There are other things, but let's stick to the 3 right now, right?
Yeah.
So once the government does these things in the background very well, then the rest of the market or the rest of the society will actually build on that, and and people can live good lives. We can make progress as a country and a state, etc. So this is the broad framework. If you think about it, the recruitment reforms that the Maharashtra government has undertaken falls under this bracket of security, right? So it's basically a law and order problem. What was actually happening before was there were these illegal elements doing corrupt practices, and there were cheating happening, where good aspirants, where like proper aspirants who were meritorious could not actually enter the service not because of merit, but because they could not access the corrupt system. So the government actually has tackled it, and this has happened in other BJP-ruled states like Uttar Pradesh as well. So I think Maharashtra has set a good example with not only making sure cheating doesn't happen. They've also started an online portal where there is a transparent, process for submitting applications, reviewing applications, and so on. So we can talk about it in detail, but this is how we should understand how the government is proceeding in Maharashtra.
Absolutely, and I think from the aspirant's point of view, as you said, the whole idea of even preparing, where does your morale lie? If you know that it's going to be clear, you're wanting to tackle the exams in a specific fashion. But if you know that the system is skewed due to all these reasonings, absolutely, I think you will not be as excited and wanting to do it with as much fervor as you would otherwise.
Oh, absolutely. Now, there are multiple order effects of this. First is obviously just like what you said. There are genuine candidates that actually are seeking this opportunity, and they are not able to get that opportunity because of not because of merit, but because of other things. So obviously, like you bring meritocracy into the forefront. That is number one. Number two, if good candidates don't get selected as teachers, what happens to the kids? What happens to the idea of skill building, right? So these are second order effects. So and because of lack of good teachers, not only the students don't get proper education, the character building, the whole man-making business is getting affected, right? So it has like first, second, and third order effect.
Next, I'm planning to come on that. Now, as we spoke about the teachers, we've just kind of touched it. Now, the introduction of the PAVITRA portal has also streamlined the teacher recruitment in rural areas. And as we know, the importance of guru, even in Indian culture, since ever has been, extremely important. So now this platform, the PAVITRA portal, has addressed the challenges of teacher shortages and also reduced corruption in Maharashtra's education sector under the Fadnavis and Shinde leadership. How big do you think it is as an achievement for this
See,
government?
there are a series of things that they have done. Like, this is one aspect of it.
Okay.
So if you take it, you take government reforms as an example. This should have been, this should have been done ages ago. We should not have come to this point at all, right? And
Absolutely.
there are examination systems in India that have been running very well for so long. So, but anyway, better late than never. So this is a long pending reform that is being done. And like what I said, like other BJP ruled states have also coming into the fold and doing this, which is good. And other than this, there are other infrastructure building, that massive infrastructure building that is happening.
Yeah.
There is actually a lot of security related work that is happening. So I think it's a bouquet of reforms. When the Prime Minister talks about minimum government, maximum governance,
Hmm.
we sometimes forget the second part of it, maximum governance. So I think this actually comes under this. So it's not that the government withdraws from the whole scene, but
Right.
actually plays its crucial part and make sure that it is done very well, so that the economy progresses, the society progresses.
Absolutely. Okay, now also with over 1.7 million applications for just the 17,000 constable positions that we have, Maharashtra's recent police recruitment drive highlights the demand for government jobs. Now, how do you reckon other states too imbibing this merit-based recruitment model?
See, jobs is a very vast topic. We have to talk. It calls for a separate discussion.
Okay.
See, the government can only provide so many jobs, right? So it can't provide jobs to everybody. And even when people in normal people understand this. But when you recruit those, how do you do it properly? So that is where this constable recruitment comes into play. See,
Yeah.
Maharashtra. So the landscape of Maharashtra is very different. On one side, you have very urban Mumbai, which has its own sort of dynamics, law and order issues, which we saw recently. There were shootings. And on the other end, the eastern end of Maharashtra, we have Gadchiroli, Gondia, etc., where there are Naxal issues, right? So there are a spectrum of issues in Maharashtra, and law and order is of of mammoth importance. And again, like with the teachers, we have to make sure that, or the state has to make sure that the best people actually come to the positions. Like if there are 17,000 spots that are to be filled, they
Yeah.
have to make sure that the 17,000 best candidates come into it. So that is where, again, like what we spoke before, the transparency and the merit based induction of people into the services becomes extremely important. See, security becomes important not just for the sake of there's obviously protection of life and property, but also economic growth
Yeah.
is resting on the pillar of security. Many times forget it. It actually stays in the background. No, and especially a state like Maharashtra. Maharashtra is the largest state in terms of contribution to the Indian economy. Indian economy is $4 trillion.
Yeah.
One day, around 500 billion comes from Maharashtra. So the security is the basis for this. So I'm happy that they're actually sort of bringing in, streamlining the process of recruiting constables and other lower level bureaucrats, state bureaucrats.
Right, absolutely. Okay, now also Maharashtra competitive examination. Now there, the Prevention of Unfair Means Act of 2024 has introduced very strict penalties for cheating. Now, do you think will these anti-cheating laws restore trust in government recruitment, and how will this affect Maharashtra's long-term employment landscape, or for that matter, any other state where models like this are being implemented?
Yeah, so definitely this is required. This is a much required first step. So when you have like stricter laws and stricter punishments, there is actually a deterrent effect on criminals that want to commit the crime, right? So this is one step.
Yeah.
Obviously, the next important step is to implement it properly. And it will take a series of, it will take some time. There will be improvements, and there will be iterations on the law, the iterations on the practices. See, the law is just a guidance. Okay, it will say go this way. Okay, whether you go this way and what are the things that you encounter on the way is a different issue altogether, right? So it is definitely a very important start, but also it depends on how the policy is implemented over a period of time and how the state machinery copes up with the various iterations and makes it efficient. But it's definitely a very good first phase.
Okay, so I think all these are great starts, is what you are trying to say, and it will also depend upon the subsequent governments which actually come in this space and how they continue taking this forward.
Oh, absolutely. See, but also we have to understand that these sort of measures improves the confidence of people on the government. You know,
Yes.
when the government puts forward these sort of transparent measures, it improves the trust of the government in the trust of the people in the government that is putting forward. So I think it is well appreciated. See, many times when Maharashtra is going to polls in a few weeks. And
True.
I just traveled quite a lot in Maharashtra just before Diwali,
Okay.
and I could see many of these effects of these governance. For example, if you take infrastructure, the Samruddhi Expressway that
Yeah.
goes from Mumbai to Nagpur, it's
Right.
world class, right? So
Yeah.
all of this actually builds up incrementally. Obviously, there are a lot of other factors that will come into play when people vote and what government they choose, but these are the things that actually improve the trust of the people with the government.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us today, Bhanu. Thank you.
Thank you, Divya.